Well, good morning. I want to welcome you all to our first session of the year. Uh, and I'm Dave Beam, Coach Dave Beam. I don't know how many of you are new. I don't recognize all of the names, but we're starting a new series this year. I want to thank the Portsmouth, Ohio, and the Maysville, Kentucky Chambers of Commerce for sponsoring these. What that basically means is that they email their members and make them aware of these as an added value to their membership. And of course, they're free of charge, and we just do this as a give back to the community. And I am super excited this year to start this new series. And this series is going to be on distinctions. And where I'd like to start with you all is just to think about what is a distinction. Now, here's some distinctions that all of us could, they're opposites usually. But if I say up, you say down. If I say happy, you say sad. If I say night, you say day. If I say left, you say right, north and south. So there are these poles, there are these two things. Now, the one that we've picked out for today, leader versus manager, they aren't exactly opposites. They're kind of two sides to the same challenge that people have in business and in organizations. And it's a critical distinction. So I'm really excited to talk about that today. Let me move on here. Here is just, you can take a brief overview of this. These are the upcoming programs that will be coming this year. This is obviously the one on January 29th. These are all the distinctions. In fact, if you email me and you don't have this handout or this schedule, I'd be glad to give that to you. You can also find these items on the website. But leader versus manager, inspiration versus motivation, person versus performance, identity versus behavior. What you're going to see is distinctions. Once you get them, you have them. And they're kind of a mindset and a foundation so that you can, it's a paradigm. It's the way you look at life. It's the way you look at business. It's the way you look at yourself. It's the way you look at your role. And it helps you see things and get more clarity when you're dealing with issues, problems, and challenges, and you want to improve and grow stronger. So that's what we're doing this year. For the many years that I've done presentations I'm in about my 24th year actually. I typically start with some form of these rules of the game. So let me go through these with you. These are agreements that you're really making with yourself. We're not in a room where I'm talking to you, or we're not where the group is interacting. But this is an agreement you're kind of making with yourself today, that you're going to be an owner versus a victim. That distinction, I think, is the strongest distinction that I've probably ever presented, that one right there. And we begin many of our sessions, most of my sessions with my clients and groups and teams, with this distinction. So I want you just to think a minute what that means. And then if you're going to agree to this today, it will help you. This rule will help you get the most out of this brief presentation. Owning something basically means that I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to be responsible. I'm not going to be in a blame or an excuse mode or even a denial mode. I'm going to face the music, as they say. I'm going to face myself and celebrate where I'm doing well, certainly always improving. But I'm also going to take an honest look at where sometimes I'm falling short. As a leader and a manager, I'm looking at my team in the same lens. I'm saying, where are we doing great this year? Or where did we do great last year? And where are we challenged? And where are we maybe faltering and not doing so well? So that owner versus victim mentality just means I'm not going to blame others. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to deny my issues. What I'm going to do is I'm going to own things. And if you'll take that mindset today, you'll really get a lot out of this. Secondly, participation of 100%. I'm going to give you some practical ways to meet that rule or an agreement. I'm going to put my phone away unless you're using that as your device today, but I'm not going to multitask. I'm not going to take phone calls and texts. I'm not going to be emailing on the side. I'm not going to be having side conversations. Now, I don't know if any of this is going on. This isn't for me. This is for you. In fact, as a leader and a manager, I'll say when you're with your team members one-on-one, this is a great rule to 100% be present and participate with what's in front of you. Multitasking is a misnomer. We'll talk about that at another time. This just says I'm all in today. That's an agreement to own it and to be all in. Third rule that we're going to have this morning is one of humility. It means I don't know everything. In fact, I don't know very much. And the little bit I know, based on what could be known, is so small that it's really not that important. If you come in with the mindset that I don't really know, I'm just curious and I want to learn, I don't have to just swallow all this stuff that this crazy coach is talking about, but I'm at least open-minded and I'm willing to consider it. That is the attitude. That's the rule. If you'll agree to that rule, that will give you the most out of this morning together. And finally, this is a have to. We have to have some fun. I think often people are so heavy and so down and so serious that they shut down that creative brain and that creative mind. And when you're having fun and you're enjoying your job and you're enjoying what you're doing, you just do a much better job. So I say this, let's own our fun and let's choose to participate and just be curious like a child. And then if we agree to those rules, if you agree to those rules, you're ready to go. So take just a second here, maybe 10 seconds, look through each of those rules and say, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. I'm yes, sir, Dave. Yes, sir, Coach Dave. I'm ready to go. All right. So now that you're ready to go, let's go to the main slide. And what I like about what I do in these, one slide, and then we'll have a follow-up at the end. But this is the lesson right here. And I want to start off with the statement. This is really important to lay the foundation for all these points that we're going to cover. For an organization to achieve excellence, it takes excellent leadership and management. And I'm making a distinction this morning between leadership and management. The distinction between manager and leader is critical, and the roles often overlap. So one of the challenges that really come up with even the title of this is, am I a leader or am I a manager? Well, I'm going to tell you, you're both. You're either leading well and you're managing well, or you're not managing so well, or you're not leading so well, or you can improve both skill sets. They are distinct set of skill sets in my mind, but often those skill sets overlap. So if I was coming into this presentation this morning, what I would want to think about is, as Dave goes through each of these, Coach Dave goes through each of these points, I want to just take a look at myself and my team and maybe put a little rating down there. How are we doing with this one? So here it goes. Let's go with the first one here. This is a paradigm. This is a way of looking at things. Leadership is often about the vision and the mission. The leader says, where are we going? What are we all about? Why do we exist as a team? And here's what I see. Here's our goals, or here's the picture, the vision of what I see for us. And a leader has that in his heart and soul and mind. And a great leader, a good leader, knows how to share that well and to even inspire that. Now, the manager side of that is the planning and the execution. So I want you to see the distinction here. You can have a great vision and idea and mission and be a true visionary, but don't have the nuts and bolts and the plan to execute. And this is often what I find in organizations. They have a good purpose, they have a good thing they want to get done, and they even have some clarity. They have some leadership there, but they have not installed the management skill and the management systems to get it done. Great idea, but no completion, no execution, no plans. So in your organization, you may have great planning and execution, but you really don't know where you're going. That would be good management, but are we managing the right things? Are we managing things in line with our mission and vision? So you see how those work together, but you also see how they're distinct. Let's go to the next one. Again, just drawing this out further, the leader is the one, when you have the leadership hat on, the leader hat, you're looking at the big picture. It's more of an inside out approach, an inside out inspirational role. It's very subjective. The leader has a vision that he wants to accomplish through a team of people, or he sees it and he wants them to see it. He sees let's just say in a jigsaw puzzle, he sees the box top. He sees the puzzle finished. He sees the future. The manager, you put the manager hat on, you see the details. You see the individual puzzle pieces. You see the sections that need to be done, and you have an objective to get part of that puzzle worked and to get part of that puzzle completed. I hope you see that these are not in competition. They're complementary. The leader role, the manager role. And as a person who functions where you are, you're either doing both well, or you're saying, I'm no leader, I just want to get things done, or I'm no manager, I just have the picture and I want the team to get that done. I'm saying, why don't you aspire or think about or consider getting rid of that I know and just saying, wouldn't it be interesting if I could be a good leader / manager? Isn't that interesting? I think everybody tends to go one way or the other in their skills and wiring and talents, but you can get better at things. We can always improve. Third, in my mind, in my world, in my coaching, leaders are about the people. It's not that managers aren't, but the leadership focuses on the team. Who is it that I have? Do they have the heart and the spirit? Do they get the why? Do they get our core values? The manager is about the how, the system focus, the steps that people need to take, the job descriptions. One is not superior to the other. We can have a person that is task oriented and gets the work done, but they just don't have they don't express the values of the organization well. Or we might have the best, sweetest, and most amazing person in the world, but they don't really have clarity on their role and their duties. They need good manager. They need a good manager to help them, or a good system. We may have somebody that gets things done, but they just run over people. Their personality and their team ability to work with teams and collaborate is weak. Well, they need a good leader to help them sort through that. Now, can the manager be the leader and can the leader be the manager? Often in a smaller organization, that's true. And everybody expresses both skill sets. So I want you to look at this as two aspects or viewpoints of perhaps the same person. All right. When I have the leadership hat on, I'm asking the why question. Why are we here? Why do we exist? That's more of the mission and vision again. And who do our team members need to be, and who do I need to be? Notice the B word. Who do we need to be to get that mission accomplished? That's leadership talk. That's leadership thought. That's leadership questions. The manager is asking a different set of questions. What is it that we need to do to accomplish the mission? How are we going to get there? What are the steps? When are we going to get there? What's the deadline? What's the time frame? What's the schedule? What's the agenda? That is the managerial questions. And I hope you're seeing, folks, that both are critical. We can be taking steps and be organized and have all the best system in the world. But if we don't know why we're here, or we don't care about the people that are involved, we just have this system. What is life about there? What is the business about there? Where's the joy? Where's the love, I could say? But we can be the most inspired, visionary person and have the why question of why we need to exist and our mission and who we are. But if we don't have some managerial skills and a manager there to get it translated into a schedule and accountability, it won't happen. Here's another leadership manager distinction. The leader asks, who are we being? How are we showing up? And the manager asks, what are we doing? I have a little thing that I teach on these before: be times do equals have. The be focus is the inside out focus of the leader. The manager focus is the do, the outside in. And all of that is to accomplish a common goal. This one, the leader tends to focus when he or she has that leadership, they're focusing on the people aspect. Even themselves, they're looking at who they're being. The manager is more coaching and by performance, and they're measuring things with scorecards, and they're looking at standards. And so a manager can be a wonderful coach because he or she doesn't have to attack people, but they can really talk about performance. You got a good coach as an athlete, they're giving you feedback and reflection based on standards. That's managerial work. And the leader does it from a point of love, encouragement, acceptance, forgiveness, understanding, listening, communication. So you can be a great leader with a great manager with a leadership skill set. They work together, and they also work as a team, a leader and a manager. This is another way to look at the distinction. The leader is about heart and spirit. I think heart is about values and about the want to. Spirit is about energy and essence and how you show up. Manager is concerned more about the intellectual ability and the intelligence and problem-solving capability that they bring and people bring, and can they physically, with their body, do the job required. Again, heart, spirit, mind, and body. It's all important. I will say, if you've got people failing in heart and spirit, they're really not the right person for your organization. They may have the physical ability and the intelligence to do the job, but if they don't have the want to and the why, probably not the right person. And that needs to be worked through. And we can have beautiful people that have the heart and spirit for our organization. And we need to work hard to find a place with their capacity where they can fit. So you see how this distinction works. Leaders focus on the team, on the trust and the integrity of the team. Do we trust one another? Do we tell the truth? When we say we're going to do something, do we get it done? The leader is into that personal development and that development of the individuals and the people. The manager is focused on the roles and responsibilities of somebody that's in a description or a box. And there's an accountability to those standards of the job. I hope you see the difference. I hope you see the importance of the distinction. I hope you also see how both sides are very important. And typically in organizations, breaking it down like this helps you see where we need to improve, where we need to focus our training, where we need to focus our conversation and our coaching. Leaders. The task of the leader of an organization, the entrepreneur, the inspiring piece is core values. What is our DNA? What are the things that are non-negotiable standards of how we are as people, how we treat other people, how we treat each other, how we think of ourselves? What is our culture? So important in an organization. You can almost walk into an organizational room and sense the culture. It's more of a subjective, intuitive thing. But the manager's saying, what is our plan, our process, our function, our efficiency, our profitability? Are we meeting our goals? Are we compliance with our standards? I hope you see how these complement one another, but they are distinct. I often think people struggle. They're trying to fix problems or organizations, and they don't have clarity about what the real lack is or where the holes are. This kind of thinking will help you see what's missing and also see what's really where you've got it together. Attitude and inspiration is the work of the leader. That's what they bring to the table. Their inspiration and their attitude is what's caught. And a manager can show up and his leadership, her leadership, attitude, and inspiration is critical. But you can have all the kumbaya, joyous, happy, wonderful, beautiful attitude. And if you don't have analysis and measurement and managerial things going on, we just kind of all sit around in a beautiful hot tub and soup and don't get much done, or we're confused, or we're not clear. So managerial skill brings clarity through system measurement and analysis. Leadership acumen brings heart and spirit and attitude, inspiration, core values, trust. And those are two distinct needs in an organization, and they are two distinct roles. It can be the same person. We are all both. The question is, where are we weak? Where are we strong? Where are we doing well? Where do we need to improve? Emotion and passion is the work of leaders, and logic and efficiency is the focus of a manager. You don't know how efficient you are until you measure things. And your system needs to be sensible and logical so that it can be communicated accurately and we can create good agreements around tangible, objective truth and plans and execution and deadlines and goals. That's managerial acumen. But the want to and the why to, and are you into this? Are you all in? Is leadership. It's the foundation, the underneath part that needs to support the managerial function. I hope you see it. Here's some questions to end out our thoughts this morning. The leader will ask the question, did the team collaborate? Have I got an interdependent team? Stephen Covey in his 7 Habits talks about the 3 phases of growth. There is dependence. Every baby starts out in the world dependent on somebody, or they don't live. And hopefully by the time they're getting into those teens, they're starting to break away. It's a little bit of that rebellion, and they're becoming independent, standing on their own 2 feet. And then hopefully as we mature as people and we get a little bit older and we mature, we get collaborative. We start to work interdependently. We start to appreciate other people and their thoughts, and we don't get so independently defensive about what we think, but it's a we thing. That's all the question of leadership. Do I have a collaborative team that's interdependent, that's working with each other? Where do we need to work on that? Where do we need to coach on that? Where do we need to help people? And then the manager is asking the question, did the crew execute and did the system work? The manager's working on the spreadsheet. The manager's working on the execution. The manager's working on the scorecard. The manager's bringing things to people so they can see how they're performing. The leader is asking, why do you want to perform like that? Do you feel what we're about? Do you have a passion for what we're doing? And again, both skill sets and both functions are critical for a excellent organization. And finally, the leader's saying, are we getting stronger and better? In other words, are we progressing? Are we cohesing and coming together and reaching our why and our mission? And the manager's asking, are we getting the job done? Are we getting her done? Are we getting the tasks done on time or not? Are we getting the list checked? Are we getting the checklist done? Now, sometimes managers and leaders have a little bit of friction because they're both looking at things from two different perspectives. And I think good coaching can help a team identify both perspectives and develop some appreciation for the wholeness of all this. If we want excellence, we need great leaders that are big picture people, and we need great managers that are detail oriented, and they are not opposed to one another, but they are distinct. They do overlap, but both sets are very different. It's a different place to come from. So I hope that has helped you. I just want to finish today with 3 free offers to help you grow. Now, I sound a little bit like an infomercial, and I don't like that tone, but these are free, and these are things that I am offering because I've done this for 24 years now or so. I just love to give things away and help people. The first offer here is if you want a digital copy of that slide, and maybe I'll pick out 3 or 4 more articles I've written through the years about leadership and management and the distinction. All you have to do to get your copy of the slides and articles is email me. And there's my email address, davebeam@mentordavebeam.com. The second offer, you starting today can have access to 300 plus articles about personal development and organizational development, YouTube links to 30 plus hours of past events just like this one, and a way for you to sign up to get a weekly newsletter, all at no cost to you. You find that all on the website, www.mentordavebeam.com. You go there, you can do all of that there. And that's my gift to the world. That's my gift to you. And finally, if you really want to put it out there, you can actually sit down and talk to me for about an hour at no cost. It's a complimentary session, and you just email me at that same email address. And I would love to sit and listen to your situation personally, maybe one-to-one, or your organizational situation where you might need some help. But again, it's not a sales session where I'm selling you service. I have no idea if you would be a good client or not, or we get along well in that kind of relationship. What I do know is that one session will tell us all of that. And many people have benefited greatly just from that 1 hour together, just to that intense coaching focus. So with that said, I encourage all. I don't get a lot of response to the third one. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a little intimidating. Don't be intimidated. This is a new year. Let me help you. That's my joy in life. Make me happy. I'd love to give you something within that hour that would just bless your heart. And that's where I'm at. Again, come back every month, can walk this road with us and take advantage of the other offers. So with that said, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.